today. Small knives. How do they fit into your EDC? I'd like to know. Comment down below and tell me how you've got some smaller knives that are fitting into your EDC. You know, big knives are great, but sometimes you need just a compact, small carry. And I'm getting and gravitating more to these smaller knives that I have. I've always loved small knives, and so that I can put them in my pouches and all sorts of different things, because large knives don't tend to fit in some of these newer pouches like the Garage Built Gear and the Data Crew pouches that we're going to review here on the channel pretty soon. But let's take a look at some of the small knives here that I have been enjoying lately. Okay, this is the Savivi Baby Banter in purple. This is a fantastic little knife. I love it. You can see the size here. Its overall length is about 5.46 inches. The blade length is 2.34 inches. The blade material is a Nitro V. It's a drop point blade style, of course. It's got a hardness rating of between 58 to 60 HRC. The handle length is about 3.125 and thickness is made of G10 here. And of course, the frame liner is stainless steel. Of course, I've got this in purple, and I've got a Atwood tool lanyard bead on here, and got that way back. This is also made of G10 as well, with just some paracord attached to it. This is a phenomenal knife. You can see the action here. It's very smooth, of course, made by Savivi. Of course, this is made in China, so take that what you will, but Savivi's making some really good knives coming out of China, and really nice. The features I like here are the brass, almost looking, I don't know if it's an actual brass, but it's a metal. The thumb stud is actually really nice for the action here. And I have used this a little bit. Let's take a look at the little belt clip around the side. And you'll see that it has Banter, very small on there. It's going to have a good quality to it as well. This knife feels good in the hand. It's very small, of course. Here it is in my palm. And this is the Savivi Baby Banter. This is another neat, really neat little knife that I like. It's the Kershaw Amplitude. This is listed as the Amplitude 2.5, and it does have an assisted opening. It is made in China, but it is a very nice little flipper knife, and it's got a good, decent action. I don't think it's on bearings at all. In fact, I know it's not. But it's got a kind of a Hinderer design here. It actually says Rexford design on the blade, and so you can see that there. But it's got a really nice action. I love the belt clip on this. This is just a drop point knife, and so you're going to have it folding up on itself like that. The finish here is a satin finish, but it's a plain edge. The handle is about 3.5 inches. It is stainless steel. Of course, you can see this is in the gray. I don't see any other kind of specifications you got here. You've got some plastic, I believe, on the inside, as well as your frame lock there to put it into place. I really have loved this knife. I've had it for a long time, probably 5-6 years or so. And it's really been one of my wonderful carries. The deep carry pocket clip I've had to adjust. You can see the play in that right now. I need to tighten it up a little bit, maybe put a little Loctite on these Torque screws. But all in all, this is a fantastic knife, and for the price, for a nice spring assisted knife, this is on Blade HQ right now for $29. You cannot beat that for this kind of knife. It's been an excellent knife. It's incredibly solid. And so this is the Kershaw Amplitude. It's listed as the Kershaw Amplitude Assisted Opening Knife 3870. All right, this next knife, I am going to confess to you, I am embarrassed that I didn't know about it sooner. I knew that Swiss Army and Victorinox had a ton of knives out there, and I know they got a ton of different models, a ton of different kinds of models for the same name, but I did not know that this knife existed until John Gadget over on his channel shared this out. And if you have not subscribed to that guy, he has got some awesome stuff, especially on Swiss Army knives. But this is the Mini Champ Alocks edition, and the Alocks only refers to the finish on the outside here. It's kind of got that ruggedized finish. It doesn't have the smooth plasticky finish of the other ones. And this is a 3-layer Swiss Army knife that's got 15 different tools in it. And Swiss Army knives, you pay a premium for them. If you buy them at retail, this one's going to cost you about $63 US. I've got a little lanyard on here from Swiss Army that cost about $3, just to give me something to kind of pull it out of a pocket or a sheath or something like that. But I have really been enjoying this knife. Let me show you a little bit of the tools here. Of course, it's only 2.3 inches in length, and it's about 1.4 ounces. And so it's not, I mean, it's nothing. It's the same size as a classic SD knife, the quintessential tiny Swiss Army knife that you've always seen, except it's got one other layer attached to it with a lot more functionality. And this is my favorite Victorinox Swiss Army knife. It absolutely is, for sure. You've got a blade on here. You've got a letter opener, all sorts of different things. Let me just pull them out here out of order. You've kind of got a cuticle pusher. I think this is a cuticle pusher right here. You've got, see, you got to have fingernails to get in these. You've got a secondary blade, which is kind of like an orange peeler. I think that's what they're talking about. Then you've got your primary nail file, of course, with a little bit of kind of a either a scraper tool or like a pry bar on the end of it. Again, I wouldn't use this for a pry bar necessarily. Then you've got a ruler on one side and kind of a Phillips head or screwdriver thing like that. On the other side here, and we'll take those out, try not to cut myself, so you can see all of these tools. A really nice pair of scissors. Again, these are the regular scissors that come with any Swiss Army knife, pretty much any Swiss Army knife. A few of the models don't have scissors, but this is a very good set of scissors. And flipping it around here, you've got another tool that's kind of got this bottle opener, kind of multi-tool pry bar, and then you've got a tiny little Phillips head on the end of that. Super nice. And of course, just the regular blade. And this is all your tools right here. The Swiss Army knife, the Mini Champ Alocks from Victorinox. Very good stuff. I love this tiny little knife. It has gotten me out of a couple of scrapes. Highly recommend it. Best $60 I think you could spend on a tiny knife. All right, this knife is the priciest of the bunch, and normally I don't want to spotlight any kind of expensive knives. This is the pouch I've been carrying, and I promise we're going to get to more pouches, hashtag pouch content on the channel here. And so this is one I've been carrying in my daily pouch, and this is the Ultim Bexar or Behar or Bear from Tactile Knife Company. This, I have no idea why I wanted this. It's a fairly new knife. It's pretty striking in the yellow here, as you can see. But it's got a nice little Ultim bead on it. And in case you're wondering what Ultim is, these Ultim 1000, it pairs nicely. It looks exactly the same as their Ultim pin that they've got on Tactile Turn as well. Of course, Tactile Turn is a division of Tactile Knife and so on and so forth. But this is just a fantastic little drop point knife. It's about 6.75 It's about 6.75 inches in length. I'll go ahead and unfold it for you here. It is a manual opening. There's no thumb stud. There's no any kind of anything to pull it out. It's literally just an old school knife. You've got a double little grip in here. This is Magna Cut steel. Magna Cut steel is huge right now. It's a big trendy thing, but I'm telling you right now, it feels really good in the hand. It is really good little blade. This thing is incredibly lightweight. 1 ounce. Look at this. It just weighs nothing, and it's really nice and balanced. It just weighs nothing. Now, you might not consider this a small knife. In fact, this is one of those that's probably on the border, the end of not being a small knife. It's just kind of a regular sized, knife. But I consider it a small knife. Why? Because of how thin it is. It is incredibly thin. It has got just zero profile. I put this in my pocket in dress pants where I don't have any really good place to put anything, with these really deep pockets in dress pants when I go to church this morning, as a matter of fact, and couldn't even feel this thing. It was that lightweight. I couldn't even feel it, couldn't even tell you that it was in there. This will set you back $200, and I know that is on the high end of what anybody watching this channel wants to pay for a knife. But it is just a phenomenal knife. If they did this in different colors of Ultem, I would absolutely buy it. It is just a wonderful, wonderful material. It's smooth. It's got a non-locking blade, so this is not going to lock. It's gonna come. If I can just force it down without hitting. I can just force it down without having to hit any switch or anything. But it is superbly made and highly recommended. Normally, again, I don't recognize expensive knives necessarily on this channel. Really expensive knives, that is. And normally I would never say that I would recommend something that's sold out all the time. But actually, if you go to Tactile Knife's website and you click notify when available, you should be able to get an email and should be able to get one of these in your hands. They're just really incredible knives. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please, please, please like and subscribe. I know you hear it all the time, but if you could help us grow the channel, we've already grown past 1,000 subscribers. Help us to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. That's what I'm looking forward to. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. Be sure to tune in to some of my YouTube shorts that I do in between these videos, and go out, have a blessed week. Thank you so much.